All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out by saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakak Radash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, double honors to our elder as well, Harawan Ban Yashar, all down here in the Lions Den camp. Salutations to the argument of the pushing of truth, sincerity, and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Khalak Sa'an Ban Yashar, all from the Lions Den Yashar all camp. This is a lamb back kind of sorta on the lesson that the elder did earlier on dealing with the food stamp SNAP crisis for the month of November, and how it's going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of people. You know, not only is it going to put a pressure on the people that have food stamps, see the people without food stamps that we're getting don't know, they're not realizing how much pressure it's going to have on them also. Because look what it's going to do to the stores. So I just happened to look up like how much money does the government give out monthly for the SNAP aid, right? And it says the monthly cost for the government to provide food stamps is approximately 8 billion, with the total annual cost being around 100 billion. This amount covers monthly benefits and state administrative expenses, with the vast majority going directly to recipients. All right, so now that's $8 billion that's not going to be spent in the month of November. You see that? $8 billion that's not going to go out into the market. So these stores are going to miss that. They're going to now imagine this. Imagine this, right? If that happened for a whole year, there will be $100 billion not going out. See that? That's going to affect the stores tremendously. That's going to affect the stores. That's going to affect people's pockets. You see what I'm saying? So all these scourges are coming out, man, to test everybody's faith. It don't matter. It don't matter. Everybody's going to do some sort of suffering. Are you going to suffer for righteousness, or are you going to suffer from wickedness? $8 billion not going out into the market on November because of the government shutdown. Not only what they were talking about having that blackout in November, not participating in Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that crap. See that? This right there within itself is gonna. There's a lot of stuff going on in November, man. Like the elder said in his video, there's a lot of stuff going on in November, man. That's crazy. That's crazy work, man. Call Halayim like how about Shimmy outside, because we can see that this is, leading unto us being delivered, and that's what we're waiting on. That is the patience and the faith of the saints to see this place fall and see our oppressor go into captivity under our control, under Yahweh Shimmy outside and King David. All right, so let's get a couple scriptures going in on that real quick. It says, all right, it says, this is Luke 20:21 and 34. It says, and take heed to, this is Yahweh Shai talk. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with uh, sufferings and drunkenness and cares of this life. Hold on, what is that? I mean, giddiness, headache caused by drinking. Okay, excess drinking. That's being drunk. It says, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. Right. There's a lot of things we got to take focus on, man, dealing in these times, because pressure like this could take somebody's mind off the truth. We're gonna go into that, like the sower and the seeds. You see that? What is one of the biggest things? One of the main points that the elder said in the video is like, I gotta put food on the table. That's a necessity now. People are struggling to put food on the table now. So just imagine when this economy crashes, how totally dependent. You can see how a lot of people are dependent on the government, and that's them being what sheep led to the slaughter. So their suffering that they're doing is going to lead them, because of the suffering and they don't have endurance to have faith in Yahweh Shemel Shai, that's going to lead them right to the sea hip of Revelation 13 and 16. These individuals that are crying about these food stamps are the same individuals. Now I'm crying. I don't get them. I was getting them at one point in time, but you know what I'm saying? They cut them. I got a raise at my job, and then that's where that went. You know, it's not set up. It's set up the way the SNAP benefits are set up, and the way all this government assistance is set up is to keep you dependent on it. So yeah, either way it goes, you know, they're gonna be sheep led to the slaughter. All right. As a matter of fact, let's go to that real quick. What is it? Isaiah 10:26. Isaiah, I think. No, it's somewhere around here. Yo, all right. Okay. This is Isaiah 10:20. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but stay upon the Lord," meaning lean. Lord's going to be our support. The Holy One of Israel. Yeah, to rest, to rely, to lead upon for support, to trust. See that? So right now that's that we no longer stay upon the scripture. The curse says, yeah, we shall go to our enemy for the want and all of all things. But remember, before we came into the truth, we were going to the enemy for salvation. A lot of us that are in the truth now, we're into churches or in or some other perverse way of spirituality, right? So we don't stay upon Esau right now. In the kingdom, we're going to totally be leaning on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see that? So you know, but we know in these times we're going to suffer a little bit. But we're going to be suffering for righteousness, man. And as the furnace of affliction is going to do exactly what it was meant to do. It's going to purify those that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai and have faith in his promise, and and destroy those that were meant to be destroyed. They're going to be before the missiles even hit. These people are going to be mentally destroyed. They're going to be tore up. Then when they think it couldn't get any worse, the missiles going to come. You see that? Luke 21:34 says to take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. Right, cares of this life. Because the scripture said, take no thought what ye shall eat, what ye shall drink, because the Lord's going to provide all that for you, roughly paraphrasing. All right? It says, so that day come upon you unawares. Right, if you keep focusing on worrying about what you're going to eat, worrying about that, you know what I'm saying, the day of the Lord is going to sneak up on you and you won't be ready for it, you know? So we got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you can bend a little. We're going to bend a little, but whatever you do, don't fold. Because the things that you work so hard for is a quote that I was listening to the other day. It says, because the things that you worked so hard for in the past and set you up for the future, you know, that's what we did it for. That's what we're doing it for. To get the reward that was going to be given unto us by Yahweh Bashim El Shai, that will reward that he promised. You see that? Let's get Matthew 13. Matthew 13 and 18. It says, hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he that which received seed by the wayside. Right? Sometimes this, you know, sometimes, You throw the bait out there, and people just can't get it. They can't bite on it because they weren't meant for that. Because with some people, the word won't even penetrate at all. They're going to be totally rejected, right? Because they have that demonic mindset that was given to them by the devil. Verse 20 says, "But he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word and knowing with joy and receiveth it." Right? You have a lot of that happens, but they don't take root in it, so they just wither away. It said, "Yet had he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended." Right? Those are the ones that, you know what I'm saying? Those are usually the novices that get out there, and the first thing they want to do is try to battle everybody with the scriptures, and not knowing, not trying to sit there and indulge and take in what the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, And then once pressure gets on them from them believing in what they believe in, they just skip, they just bail out. You know what I'm saying? Verse 22 is, but he said, the Lord said, "Those that will be ashamed of him, he shall be ashamed of them during the time of salvation." Matthew 13:22, it says, "He also that receiveth seed among thorns is he that heareth the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and becometh unfruitful." See that? And the cares of this world, man, is going to choke it right out of some of these people. So you're going to have people like this. What's about to happen? You're going to have people that was so-called part of the fold falling out. Once that real, the Lord's going to test everybody's works, and see if it be of gold or if it be of alloy. But we gotta understand that we're works within ourselves also. So we if some of our work shall be burned up, if we continue in the faith, we shall be saved also. Though we shall be, get salvation. All right. It says, "But he that," verse 23, it says, "that he that receiveth seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also bears fruit and and bring forth some in hundredfold, some 60, some 30." All right. See that? So all we have to do is keep the faith and hold on to that promise of salvation that was given unto us by believing in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, man. All right. Let's go back to Luke 21, verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth the stress of nations with perplexity, the sea and waves roaring." See that? We're already seeing things happen in the sky with the three-eye atlas. They're waiting to see what it's gonna do after it comes from behind the sun in the beginning parts of November. All right. Verse 26 says, "Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." Right, everybody gonna be scared, man. You know, ultimately, these missiles gonna shake everybody, including the earth. All right, it says, "Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory." All right, so when the earth reels to and fro, right as the Lord's gonna show up in the middle of this war going on. As he's defending, he's gonna deliver. All right, coming in his power and great glory, coming in a cloud with power and great glory. It says, "And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." Right, so we should be looking up. A few more things have to happen in order but it's like this is major. The government shutdown is major because what it could affect, and I think this has been the longest one in history. I remember the one that happened in 2000 and what 18 or 2019. People were bugging out then because it happened right around the time of income tax, and then people didn't know if they were going to get them income tax or not because of the government shutdown. Hmm. It says and he's verse 29. And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own self that summer is now nigh at hand. Right. So when we see these things happening, now we know our salvation is at hand. Verse 31, it says, so likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahweh is nigh at hand. Right. So we look forward to these things. It says, verily, verily, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Ain't nobody leaving till the Lord does his work in front of everybody. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Right, because we're looking for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. All right, verse 34 says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering, drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. Right, you know. It says, for as a snare, shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth, man. The majority of people gonna get caught off guard. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai. And in the daytime he was Shlaki. That was it. I don't know what happened. All right. So let's go from um here to First Thessalonians chapter 5. It says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Yeah, that's what Paul was saying. He ain't got to tell you because we all are following these prophecies. You know what I'm saying? We're telling the people what's going to happen because the Lord's speaking to us through His word. It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Right? Right. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them. Because people are going to be running in line to that sea hip, to the Revelation 13 and 16. They're going to be running. That's like how they ran in line 2020, because they're going to go back to Egypt for help. They're going to let man be their refuge instead of letting Yahweh Shema Shai be their refuge. The same way they ran in 2020, that's how they're gonna run coming here shortly when they implement the sea hip, which is the mark of the beast. Man. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, right? Because they're gonna seek safety in what man created, and which is a trap. It says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. It says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. Because right, we're up and watching, sober. Ye are children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. So we can see the things. We can see the signs of the heaven. We can see the uproar of the people. We can see these prophecies and understand that it is the very same time that was spoken of from the beginning, and how the creator of the universe is about to come to the earth that He created. You see that? Okay. let's get um let's get James chapter 1. James chapter 1, verse 2, it says, or no, verse 1, it says, James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. See that? To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. All right. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Right. Because we're going to feel some pressure too, but the Lord's going to protect us. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that that you may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing. Meaning, we're going to be complete. I mean, we're not going to be lacking anything, man. All right. And if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Right. Because what? Because of this simple fact right here. Let's get it. Isaiah 33 and 6, it said, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? Because that's understanding, knowing Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is what's going to lead us all the way to salvation, man. See that? So you got this one dude, Jamaican old cat, on on TikTok talking about some you can't know what you believe in because you don't know it. We know the Lord and we believe in the Lord. Y'all don't know him. You see that? If somebody could tell you something in your faith, you don't know what their true intentions are. You have to believe and hope it's good intentions. You feel what I'm saying? We know what we know, and what we know brings us to faith in Yahweh by Shem El Shai, believing in his holy name. See that? So knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time and strength of salvation, man. All right, because the Lord is bringing judgment on the earth. And where is he starting? Let's get it. 1 Peter 4 and 17. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17, and it says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh by Shema Shaka? They don't have that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for them to be stable in that time. But we're gonna have it. So the elect are gonna be judged according to this mercy. See that? Verse 18 it said, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, what shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Where are they going? Either being destroyed or going into slavery. You see that? Let's get Amos 9 and 8. Slacky. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 8. And it says, behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. See that? So it's a remnant that's gonna be saved. But the Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So that's not gonna be his only focal point, right? The Lord's gonna have his eyes on his elect too. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12. And it says, oh one, that's first Peter. First Peter chapter 3, verse 12. And it's lucky. And it says, for the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers, but the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. See that? So he's looking at both sides of the spectrum, and he's going to destroy one side and deliver the other. So it doesn't matter what we go through on this side. The Lord's going to protect us and preserve our mind to be able to endure. See that? Verse 13 it says, and who is he that will harm you if he be followers of that which is good. Ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing to us. You see that? But if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. See that? Like the devil's coming down having great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time. But the Lord said, be not afraid of, be more afraid of him. Don't be afraid of the terrors of the wicked. That's why I said to put on the whole armor of God so you can you can do all to stand in the evil day. All right. Verse 14 again, it says, but if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Lord in your hearts, in your mind. Be sanctified with the truth. And be ready always to give answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. Right. Not only just teaching, but our faith is going to be a lesson to these people. People going to be seeing us going through the same thing that they're going through, but the outcome is going to be different. They're going to start to see that. They're going to start to see that the Lord is with us and not with them, and they're going to be questioning that. All right. It says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Yahweh Shai. These same individuals that used to talk shit about us all the time, right, speaking against us, some of them was getting food stamps. Look at them now. See that? Verse 18, it says, for Yahweh Shai also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring unto us Yahweh, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. See that? We cut the flesh off, cut the old man off, and become a new creature. And ultimately, that's going to happen physically too when we get those new bodies, man. You know, the Lord sending scourges us off sent out, but the elect are protected from that, man. It's going to be a crazy November. Um, so all we got to do is just keep up the faith, man, and keep holding on to Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, that, like I said, call Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harikak Quadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and double honors to my elder apostle as well, here at one, by Yasharala, down here in the Lions Den Camp. Salutations to the argument that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom.